NCRT 11, Chapter 7, Structural Organization in Animals. Structural Organization in Animals. In the preceding chapters, you came across a large variety of organisms, both unicellular and multicellular, of the animal kingdom. In unicellular organisms, all functions like digestion, respiration, reproduction, and are performed by a single cell. In unicellular organisms, all functions like digestion, respiration, and reproduction are performed by a single cell. In the complex body of multicellular animals, the same basic functions are carried out by the different groups of cells in well-organized manner. The body of simple organism like Hydra is made of different types of cells, and the number of cells in each type can be thousands. The human body is composed of billions of cells to perform various functions. How do these cells in the body work together? In multicellular animals, a group of similar cells, along with the intercellular substance, perform a specific function. Such an organization is called tissue. In multicellular animals, a group of similar cells, along with intercellular substances, perform a specific function. Such an organization is called tissue. You may be surprised to know that all complex animal consists of only 4 basic types of tissues. These tissues are organized in specific proportion and pattern to form an organ like stomach, lung, heart, and kidney. When two or more organs perform a common function by their physical and a chemical interaction, they together form organ system. Like digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system. Cells, tissues, organs, and organ system split up the work in a way that exhibits the division of labor and contribute to the survival of the body as a whole. Okay, these tissues organized in specific proportion and pattern to form an organ like stomach, lung, heart, and kidney. When two or more organs perform a common function by their physical and chemical interaction, they together form organ system like digestive system, respiratory system, etc. The cells, tissues, organs, and organ systems split up the work in a way that exhibits the division of labor and contribute to the survival of the body as a whole. Let's start the animal tissues. The structure of the cells, animal tissues, the structure of the cells vary according to their function. Therefore, the tissues are different, are broadly classified into 4 types: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and neural tissue. The 4 types of tissues: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and neural tissue. Okay, then let's start the epithelial tissue. We commonly refer to an epithelial tissue as epithelium, plural epithelia. This tissue has a free surface. Epithelial tissue has a free surface which faces either a body fluid or the outside environment, and thus provides covering or lining for some part of the body. The properties of the epithelial tissue: they have a free surface which faces either body fluid or the outside environment, and thus provide a covering or lining for some part of the body. The cells are compactly packed with a little intercellular matrix. The cells are compactly packed with a little intercellular matrix. There are 2 types of epithelial tissues, namely simple epithelium and compound epithelium. The epithelial tissues is of two types, simple epithelium and compound epithelium. Simple epithelium is composed of a single layer. Simple epithelium is composed of a single layer of cells and functions as a lining for body cavities, ducts, and tubes. The compound epithelium consists of two or more cell layers. Compound epithelium consists of two or more cell layers and has protective function. So, simple epithelium composed of single layer of cells. Compound epithelium consists of two or more cell layers. Then, simple epithelium generally functions as a lining for body cavities, ducts, and tubes. Simple epithelium functions as a lining for body cavities, ducts, and tubes. Compound epithelium has protective function. Compound epithelium has protective function as it does in our skin. On the basis of structural modification of the cells, the simple epithelium is further divided into three types: squamous, cuboidal, columnar. Simple squamous, simple cuboidal, and simple columnar. Let's focus on the diagrams here. The diagrams are also going to be the questions in the NEET examination. So just let's focus here. This is the flattened cell, that is simple squamous epithelium. Okay, so then the second one, simple cuboidal epithelium. The third you can see here, the simple columnar epithelium. Simple columnar epithelium. And the fourth one, the simple columnar epithelium, which contain cilia. That we say columnar cells bearing cilia, ciliated columnar epithelium. So, that number one, simple squamous epithelium. Number two, simple cuboidal epithelium. Number three, simple columnar epithelium. And the four, simple ciliated columnar epithelium. The diagrams are very important in the examination point of view, in the NEET examination point of view. The diagram will be given there and they'll ask that which epithelium this is. So let's continue. The squamous epithelium, the properties of the squamous epithelium is made of a single thin layer of flattened cells with irregular boundaries. The squamous epithelium is made of single thin layer of flattened cells with irregular boundaries. They are found in the walls of blood vessels. The simple squamous epithelium present in the walls of blood vessels and air sacs of lungs and are involved in the functions like forming a diffusion boundary. These are the properties of simple squamous epithelium. Simple squamous epithelium is made of single thin layer of flattened cell with irregular boundaries. So where do you found them? They are found in the walls of blood vessels, air sacs of lungs, and are involved in the functions like the forming a diffusion boundary. Next, the cuboidal epithelium. The cuboidal epithelium is composed of a single layer of cube-like cells. Cuboidal epithelium is composed of a single layer of cuboidal cells, cube-like cells. This is commonly found in ducts of glands and tubular parts of nephron in kidneys. So, simple cuboidal epithelium commonly found in ducts of glands and tubular parts of nephrons in kidneys. And what is the function of simple cuboidal epithelium? Simple cuboidal epithelium and its main function is secretion and absorption. The main function of simple cuboidal epithelium is secretion and absorption. The epithelium of proximal convoluted tubule of nephron in the kidney is having microvilli. The simple cuboidal epithelium of proximal convoluted tubule of the nephron of the kidney is having that microvilli. So these microvilli increase the area of absorption. They increase the area of absorption. Next, the columnar epithelium is composed of a single layer of tall and slender cells. Columnar epithelium is composed of a single layer of tall and slender cells. Their nuclei are located at the base. Simple columnar epithelial cells nuclei is located at the base. The free surface may have microvilli. The free surface may have microvilli. They are found in the simple columnar epithelium, found in the lining of stomach and intestine. They found in the lining of stomach and intestine and help in secretion and absorption. They help in secretion absorption. If the columnar or cuboidal cells bear cilia on their free surface, they are called as ciliated epithelium. The cuboidal cells or columnar cells may bear cilia. Then they are called ciliated columnar epithelium or ciliated cuboidal epithelium. Their function is to move particles of mucus in a specific direction over the epithelium. Ciliated epithelium function is to move particles or mucus in a specific direction over the epithelium. They are mainly present in the inner surface of hollow organs like bronchioles and fallopian tube. Ciliated epithelium mainly present in the inner surface of hollow organs like bronchioles and fallopian tube. So, the simple squamous epithelium is a single thin layer of flattened cells with irregular boundaries. The cuboidal epithelium, composed of single layer of cube-like cells. Columnar epithelium, composed of a single layer of tall and slender cells. Ciliated epithelium, the columnar or cuboidal cell bear cilia on their free surfaces. They are called ciliated epithelium. So, a single thin layer of flattened cells with irregular boundaries is squamous epithelium. Then, single layer of cube-like cells is cuboidal epithelium. The single layer of tall and slender cells is columnar epithelium. Then columnar or cuboidal cells bear cilia on their free surface, ciliated epithelium. The simple squamous epithelium found in the wall of blood vessels and air sac of lungs. The simple squamous epithelium found in the walls of blood vessels and air sacs of lungs. The simple cuboidal epithelium, commonly found in ducts of glands and tubular parts of nephrons in the kidneys. Simple cuboidal epithelium found in ducts of glands and tubular parts of nephrons in kidneys. Simple columnar epithelium that found in the lining of stomach and intestine Simple columnar epithelium found in the lining of stomach and intestine. Ciliated epithelium present in the inner surface of hollow organs like bronchioles and fallopian tubes. These are the examples need to be focused over. Squamous epithelium, walls of blood vessels and air sacs of lungs. Cuboidal epithelium, found in ducts of glands and tubular parts of nephrons in kidney. Columnar epithelium, found in the lining of stomach and intestine. Ciliated epithelium, present in the inner surface of hollow organs like bronchioles and fallopian tubes. Simple squamous epithelium involved in the functions like forming a diffusion boundary. Simple squamous epithelium functions like forming a diffusion boundary. Cuboidal epithelium. The main function of cuboidal epithelium is secretion and absorption. Main functions of cuboidal epithelium are secretion and absorption. The columnar epithelium. The columnar epithelium that present in the stomach and intestine help in secretion and absorption. So they are help in secretion and absorption. Columnar epithelium help in secretion and absorption. Then the ciliated epithelium. Ciliated epithelium, the function is to move particles or mucus in a specific direction over the epithelium. So these are the functions of the simple epithelial tissues. Like simple squamous epithelium functions like forming a diffusion boundary. Simple cuboidal epithelium for main function are secretion and absorption. Simple columnar epithelium help in secretion and absorption. The ciliated epithelium functions is to move particles or mucus in a specific direction over the epithelium. So examples and function need to be remembered, need to be revised continuously. Some of the columnar or cuboidal cells, some of the columnar or cuboidal cells get specialized for secretion are called glandular epithelium. Glandular epithelium means some of the columnar or cuboidal cell get specialized for secretion and absorption are called glandular epithelium. They are mainly of two types, unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular consists of isolated glandular cell, unicellular consisting of isolated glandular cells. Example, goblet cells of the alimentary canal. Goblet cells of alimentary canal. So this is the unicellular glands here, the isolated, the keyword to be remembered, isolated glandular cells. Example, goblet cells of the alimentary canal. And multicellular, multicellular consisting of the cluster of cells, the cluster group of cells. Here it is, the group of cells. Example, salivary gland. We can take example, salivary gland. So that some of the columnar or cuboidal cell get specialized for secretion and are called glandular epithelium. They are mainly of two types, unicellular consisting of isolated glandular cells, example goblet cells of alimentary canal, and multicellular consisting of cluster of cells, example salivary gland, unicellular and multicellular glands. Next, on the basis of the mode of pouring of their secretion, glands are divided into two categories, namely exocrine and endocrine. On the basis of the mode of pouring of their secretion, the glands are divided into two categories, namely exocrine and endocrine glands. Exocrine glands secrete mucus, saliva. Exocrine glands secrete mucus, saliva, earwax, oil, milk, digestive enzymes, and other cell products. Exocrine glands secrete mucus, saliva, earwax, oil, milk, digestive enzymes, and other cell products. These products are released through the ducts or tubes. Exocrine secretion released through the ducts or tubes. In contrast, endocrine glands do not have ducts. Their products are called hormones, are secreted directly into the fluid bathing the gland. Then, in contrast, endocrine glands do not have ducts. Their products called hormones are secreted directly into the fluid bathing the gland. Compound epithelium. Compound epithelium is made of more than one layer, multi-layered cells, and thus has a limited role in secretion and absorption. Compound epithelium has a limited role in secretion and absorption. Very important thing to be remembered, the compound epithelium has a limited role in secretion and absorption. The main function of the compound epithelium is to provide protection against chemical and mechanical stresses. The main function of the compound epithelium is to provide protection against chemical and mechanical stresses. They cover the compound epithelium, cover the dry surface of the skin, the moist surface of buccal cavity, pharynx, inner lining of ducts of salivary glands, and of pancreatic ducts. Compound epithelium cover the dry surface of skin, the moist surface of buccal cavity, pharynx, inner lining of ducts of salivary glands, and of pancreatic ducts. The main function of compound epithelium is to provide protection against the chemical and mechanical stresses. Then all cells in epithelium are held together with little intercellular material. All cells in epithelium are held together with little intercellular material. In nearly all animal tissues, the specialized junctions provide both structural and functional links between its individual cells. In nearly all animal tissues, specialized junctions provide both structural and functional links between its individual cells. Three types of cell junctions are found in the epithelium and other tissues. These are called tight, adhering, and gap junction. The tight junctions help to stop substances from leaking across a tissue. Tight junction help to stop substances from leaking across a tissue. Adhering junction perform cementing to keep neighboring cells together. Adhering junction perform cementing to keep neighboring cells together. Gap junctions facilitate the cells to communicate with each other by connecting the cytoplasm of adjoining cells for rapid transfer of ions, small molecules, and sometimes big molecules. So, the functions of the three junctions that are junctions to help to stop substances from leaking across a tissue is tight junction. Adhering junctions perform cementing to keep neighboring cells together. The gap junction facilitate the cells to communicate with each other by connecting the cytoplasm of adjoining cells for rapid transfer of ions, small molecules, and sometimes big molecules. So this is all about epithelial tissue. Then let's continue with connective tissue. Connective tissues are most abundant and widely distributed in the body of complex animals. The connective tissues are the most abundant and widely distributed in the body of complex animals. They are named connective tissues because of their special function of linking and supporting other tissues or organs of the body. The connective tissues are named like because of their special function of linking and supporting other tissues or organs of the body. They range from soft connective tissues to specialized types. Connective tissues range from soft connective tissues to specialized types, which include specialized connective tissue include cartilage, bone, adipose, and blood. In all connective tissues except blood, in all connective tissues except blood, the cells secrete fibers of structural proteins called collagen or elastin. In all connective tissues except blood, the cells secrete fibers of structural proteins called collagen or elastin. The fibers provide strength, elasticity, and flexibility to the tissue. The collagen and elastin fibers provide strength, elasticity, and flexibility to the tissue. These cells also secrete modified polysaccharides which accumulate between the cells and fibers and act as matrix or ground substance. These cells also secrete modified polysaccharide which accumulate between the cells and fibers and act as matrix a ground substance. The connective tissues are classified into three types: loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue, and specialized connective tissue. Loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue, and specialized connective tissue. So, in all connective tissues, except blood, the cells secrete fibers of structural proteins called collagen or elastin. The fibers provide strength and elasticity and flexibility to the tissue. The cells also secrete modified polysaccharides which accumulate between cells and fibers and act as matrix, a ground substance. The connective tissues are classified into three types: loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue, and specialized connective tissue. The loose connective tissue. Loose connective tissue has cells and fibers loosely arranged in a semi-fluid ground substance. Loose connective tissue has cells and fibers loosely arranged in a semi-fluid ground substance. For example, areolar tissue of loose connective tissue present beneath the skin. Areolar tissue is present beneath the skin. Often that serves as a support framework for epithelium. Areolar connective tissue present beneath the skin. Areolar tissue present beneath the skin, and it serves as a support framework for epithelium. In areolar connective tissue, it contains fibroblasts, cells that produce and secrete fibers, macrophages, and mast cells. Areolar connective tissue contains fibroblasts, macrophages, and mast cells. Next, adipose tissue of loose connective tissue is another type of loose connective tissue located mainly beneath the skin. Adipose tissue is another type of loose connective tissue located mainly beneath the skin. Then areolar tissue present beneath the skin, and often it serves as a support framework for epithelium. Adipose tissue is another type of loose connective tissue located mainly beneath the skin. Cells of this tissue are specialized to store fats. The excess of nutrients which are not used immediately are converted into fats and are stored in this tissue. The fibers and fibroblasts are compactly packed in the dense connective tissue. The orientation of fibers show a regular or irregular pattern and are called dense regular and dense irregular tissues. The fibers and fibroblasts are compactly packed in the dense connective tissue. The orientation of the fibers show a regular or irregular pattern and are called dense regular and dense irregular tissue. In the dense regular connective tissues, the collagen fibers are present in rows. In the dense regular connective tissues, the collagen fibers are present in rows between many parallel bundles of fibers. The dense regular connective tissues, the collagen fibers are present in rows between many parallel bundles of fibers. Tendons. Tendons which attach the skeletal muscle to the bone. Tendon which attaches to the skeletal muscle to the bone. Ligament which attach one bone to the another. The next is the ligament which attach one bone to the another are examples of the dense regular connective tissue. Dense regular connective tissue is with tendons and ligaments. Tendons which attach skeletal muscles to bones and ligaments which attach one bone to the another bone. Okay. So then dense irregular connective tissue. The dense irregular connective tissue has fibroblast and many fibers, mostly collagen, fibroblast and many fiber, mostly collagen, that are oriented differently. This tissue is present in the skin. Dense irregular connective tissue has fibroblast and many fiber, mostly collagen, that are oriented differently. The dense irregular connective tissue present in the skin, cartilage, the skin, and in the cartilage as perichondrium, we can say in cartilage. Bones, we call periosteum and endosteum, and blood are the various types of specialized connective tissues. So the dense irregular connective tissue present in the skin, in the cartilage, and in the bone. Okay, the dense irregular connective tissue, cartilage in the form of perichondrium, bone in the form of periosteum, and this tissue is also present in the skin. Then cartilage, bone, and blood. Cartilage, bone, and blood are various types of specialized connective tissues. The cartilage, bone, and blood are various types of specialized connective tissue. The intercellular material of the cartilage is solid and pliable and resist compression. The intercellular material of the cartilage is solid and pliable and resist compression. The cells of this tissue, chondrocytes we call, are enclosed in small cavities within the matrix secreted by them. The cells of this tissue that we say chondrocytes are enclosed in small cavities within the matrix secreted by them. Most of the cartilage in vertebrate embryos are replaced by bones in adults. Cartilage is present in the tip of nose, outer ear joints, and between adjacent bones of the vertebral column, limbs, and hands in adults. So, properties of the cartilage: the intercellular material of the cartilage is solid and pliable and resist compression. The cells of this tissue, the chondrocytes, are enclosed in small cavities within the matrix secreted by them. Most of the cartilages in vertebrate embryos are replaced by bones in adults. The cartilage is present in the tip of nose, outer ear joints, the between adjacent bones of the vertebral column, limbs, and hands in adults. Next, bones. Bones have a hard and non-pliable ground substance rich in calcium salts and collagen fiber, which give bone its strength. So this is to be remembered. The bones have hard and non-pliable ground substance rich in calcium salts and collagen fiber, which give the bone its strength. The cartilage is solid, pliable, and resist compression. That the comparison we are making. It is the main tissue. The bone is the main tissue that provides structural frame to the body. Bones support and protect softer tissues and organs. The bone cells, we call osteocytes, are present in the spaces called lacunae. The bone cells or osteocytes are present in the spaces called lacunae. Limb bones, such as the long bones of the legs, serve weight-bearing function. Limb bones and such as the long bones of the legs that serve weight-bearing function. They also interact with the skeletal muscles attached to them to bring out movements. The bone marrow in some bones is a site of production of blood cells. The bone marrow in the some bones is a site of production of blood cells. So that's a story of bones. Bones have a hard, non-pliable ground substance rich in calcium salts and collagen fibers, which give bone its strength. It is the main tissue that provides structural frame to the body. Bones support and protect soft tissues and organs. The bone cells are present in the spaces called lacunae. Limb bones, such as the long bones of the legs, serve weight-bearing function. They also interact with the skeletal muscles, are attached to them to bring about movements. The bone marrow in some bones of the site of production of blood cells. Then let's take a look on the blood. The blood is a fluid connective tissue containing plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Blood is a fluid connective tissue containing plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. It is the main circulating fluid that helps in the transport of various substances. Blood is the main circulating fluid that helps in the transport of various substances. You will learn more about blood in chapter 17 and 18. So till the time, let's try to watch the diagrams given here. That the diagrams will come in examination without labeling. You need to recognize them as RBC, platelets, and these are WBC. So you should recognize them as like so. Okay, so in the given, the cartilage and bone, they also need to be recognized over. Cartilage and bone. The two diagrams we have, that one is the diagram of cartilage, this is the diagram of cartilage, and this is the diagram of bone, which shows the Haversian systems, the cartilage and bone. Just look at towards the diagram. There you just need to recognize the same kind of diagrams when it come in examination. You have to recognize them in the form of cartilage and bone. See this. This is cartilage and this is bone. Okay. The similar way, we need to go with some more diagrams. That we have some diagrams are there. We have already seen the epithelial tissue diagram. Now next here, you can see the dense regular and dense irregular connective tissue. So two diagrams of this is the dense regular, the arrangement of collagen fibers in regular bundles. In between them, you can see the fibroblast cells. Okay, so the dense irregular, that means arrangement of the collagen fibers in the form of irregular bundles. The second one is a dense irregular arrangement is not in the form of parallel bundles that you can see there. So that is dense irregular. Okay, so that these two diagrams to be remembered. And this is areolar connective tissue, which is a very famous and regular diagram in examination. And this diagram is also adipocyte, adipose tissue. You can see a single large oil droplet here, monolocular lipid droplet, we use it to say. So these two diagrams to be remembered. Here also you can see this is macrophage. The labeling will come in examination. The macrophage. Okay. Then we know these are fibroblast cells. So see this. These are the fibroblast cells which are secreting fibers. The green one. That let me show you with the green itself. So this is the fibroblast cell which is secreting fibers. You may have recognized over. This is adipocyte. That how do we recognize adipocyte? With single large oil droplet. Okay. So that's it. So these are the mast cells. So mast cells, macrophages, fibroblasts need to be recognized in the diagram. Okay. So collagen fibers, you can see the collagen fibers here. They are secreted from the fibroblast cells. So just need to watch the diagrams that we'll get that these diagrams without labeling. That means if this diagram will come over, they'll ask you to recognize what is this adipose tissue, that we need to recognize like this. So that's it about the structural organization in animals. Part 1, we just learned up to, we just read the chapter that the blood. So need to be remembered that I'm not here to explain. That explanation videos are there already, that in other playlists that you can search for. Here, this is just reading of the chapter. That means for your sake, I'm reading this chapter for you. Okay. So just reading, not an explanation this is. Okay. So then, thank you, and we'll continue with the part 2.